Muli Shani Bonsai, welcome to my channel. My name is Tembi if it's your first time here, and today I'm going to be taking you into our Parisian inspired dining room. Now the reason I'm calling it Parisian is because I have an etagere in there. Another reason is I've also been leaning into Parisian inspired eclectic decor and design. It just resonates with me so well that I can't help but gravitate towards it. So we're definitely going to get into that Parisian vibe when it comes to the Christmas decor, especially in the dining room, and I can't wait to share it with you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into today's video. So for my color scheme, I wanted to basically keep it very simple and quite earthy. I'm talking about greens and browns. And then of course, because the color palette in my dining area is very neutral, I've got a lot of black in there, and then I've got a bit of brown, and I've got white or ivory, but I wanted to basically just keep it really grounded so that way it wouldn't pop too much. Nothing would pop too much. So it's very understated this year, and that's unlike me because I'm over the top when it comes to everything or anything that I do. But I'm liking this direction that I've gone this year. So to start with, on the table I have this really beautiful old or vintage candelabra, and I wanted to basically make it more of a statement this season because I think that it's a really good centerpiece. And so I decided to add some berries. They're kind of a burgundy type of color, and I got these at Dollar Tree a couple of years ago, and I still love them. I think the color is just perfect for this time of the year, and it's not too hot of a color, so it doesn't pop that much. It's really subtle, and that's what I love about them. And because the berries are actual picks, I wanted to be able to conceal the bottom of them, so the center of the candelabra. And I saw a YouTuber, I recently started following her, and I just loved her videos so much, but she had created a centerpiece from a wreath. It's kind of a Christmas tree and mossy type of centerpiece. I'll have her video link down below just in case you're interested, and I'll have her name put here on the screen. But I really did love what she did with that DIY, and so I just decided to take some inspiration from hers and use some moss to conceal my picks. And I think that it turned out really well. I didn't even have to glue anything. I basically just put it right in the center, and I think it looks lovely. It looks like it's some forest somewhere, and berries are growing out of the moss, and then there are candles, and it's just so whimsical. It gave it that really whimsical type of twist, and I absolutely love that. And then of course I wanted to add more candlelight to the table because, like I said, I'm not doing too much to our table. That's basically going to be the centerpiece for our tablescape this year. But the candles themselves they're made out of this beautiful crystal glass. I thrifted those, the candlesticks rather. And I wanted to add some ribbon to the candles this year because ribbon is trending, of course, and I think that that's just a trend that is never going to go out of style moving forward. And so I decided to keep the ribbon earthy. I would have preferred to use a green, but I only had a rust color in the fabric that I actually wanted because it's pretty malleable, easy to style. So I went for the rust color, but I think it turned out really beautiful, and I love that. And then of course I added some stars as well, golden stars, thrifted as well. So I love to thrift my decor because it just gives it some uniqueness, and you can't do better than unique in my opinion. Moving on to my mirror, I have this mirror in the center of the wall where the table is, and I usually just switch out wreaths every year. And so I decided to add a thrifted wreath above it, and I think that it looks absolutely amazing. The wreath could be, I think it's a mix of cedar And I don't know what other type of branch that could be. Hold on, I just saw a little bug. Where was I? I was talking about the mirror. So the wreath itself has a mix of greenery, but I really love it because it looks very natural, and it's got some lighting on it, and I think that it just looks absolutely amazing. Wanted to keep that simple, but as a swag, I decided to cascade some, it's not mercury glass, but it's some type of metal glass. It looks like metal, and I love that garland. I thrifted that as well, and I think it's just really, really beautiful. I wouldn't necessarily call it gunmetal. It does kind of look like it, but I think that it's just a really beautiful added touch. But it's very delicate. It's already started cracking in some areas, but I think that's what gives it even more character, in my opinion. And then on the sconces, which are vintage, of course, I decided to add some burgundy ribbon, and I think that ties it well, ties in the centerpiece on the dining table with the sconces. The burgundy ties it all together. It looks like the berries, and I think that it looks absolutely fantastic. Moving on to my favorite section, which is the etagere. At the top, I had these two trees that I thrifted at Dirt Cheap. I think you can find them at Target, and they're green. They're very simple, very understated, but they do make a statement, and I think that that is just wonderful, a wonderful way of introducing some festiveness, of festivities in our home. Something else that I really wanted to add was some artwork, and I have this oil painting that I had in our kitchen, and I just decided to put it in the dining room because it ties in well with everything. It's not too, it's actually very muted. The colors are very muted, and I love that. And it's kind of wintry in a sense. It's got that gloomy vibe to it, which I really wanted to introduce into our dining area. So I think that that worked out. On the top shelves, I decided to add some green trees. These can also be found at Target. I got them at Dirt Cheap a couple of years ago, but I love the green color. It's really beautiful and rich, but it's understated at the same time, so it's not too striking, which I love. I decided to add them on either side, and then I added some candy in my Christmas tree canisters. Absolutely love those. We have Mary and Joseph in crystal, and I thrifted those two at the Goodwill somewhere, maybe in Austin, Texas. I can't remember, but they didn't have the baby Jesus, which was just really disappointing. I've been looking for baby Jesus, but I keep forgetting. That's the thing. So this, I probably need to search for him after I'm done filming this video for you. It needs to be complete, but instead of having baby Jesus, I wanted to just add a little glass tree on that shelf as well, and I added some little twinkle lights inside the tree, and I think that looks lovely. On the second layer, we've got some books and a little pretty glass vase. It's very delicate. Candlestick as well, and I just decided to add some bronze berries in that one. I can add some florals later on, but I think that those look really good right now. And then I added a beautiful brown vase. It's almost like, not caramelized, but it kind of looks like it's a caramelized vase, so, but that doesn't really matter. But I wanted to show you the pick that I added to it. I love that pick. I got that from Walmart last year, and it just worked out perfectly on that shelf. I think it looks amazing. It's cascading, it's flowy, it's just really beautiful and looks really natural, and I think that it just brought that space to life. And then I added some wine corks in my marble vase or vessel, or bowl rather, and I think that that looks really beautiful. And then at the very bottom, I have this beautiful lamp that I love to light up in the evening. Gives more of a cozy vibe. Even though it's quite bright, it still feels really cozy. And then I added a tree on that tray as well to give it more of that festivity. I have this beautiful picture or piece of artwork, painting maybe, I'm not sure if it's a print or a painting, but I just love it so much. I think that it's one of those timeless pieces that really brings out that Parisian vibe as well in our space, or in that space, and it just looks absolutely fantastic. And then of course we have my beloved Nutcracker. Got that from Walmart last year and I really love it. It's in this really beautiful, what is that, stained brown, and I think it almost looks like a chocolate brown, and I think it looks absolutely fantastic. And that is the etagere, and that is basically our dining room this year. I think that it came out beautifully. It's very romantic. It's also very cozy at the same time, and I just love it so much. So I hope you love it as much as I do. Anyway, this brings us to the end of today's video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up, and I hope to see you all in the next one very soon. Bye everyone.